Listen to how crispy that is. Right, I don't know about you guys, but I think the roast spud is the cornerstone for a good Christmas dinner. Well, any kind of roast dinner, to be fair. I don't care if you're rocking up with a roast. I don't matter how good the beef is, the chicken, lamb, whatever. If there's no roast spuds on it, well, you need your head checking. Oh, I thought we'll have new potatoes instead. Oh, friend! No. That being said though, not all roast potatoes are equal. They're easy to make, but there are a few crucial steps you've got to follow. So make sure you watch the whole video and I'll show you how to make the crunchiest, crispiest, fluffiest roast potatoes you'll ever have in your life. And it all starts with the spud. Let's go and have a look. And this is the variety that I'm using today. It's called the Manitou. Not Manatee, Manitou. And as you can see, it's a red skin variety potato. And there are plenty of other varieties that you can use. Desiree is another red skin variety. Maris Piper, you can use King Edward's is like one of the best to use. But you want a potato with a nice high starch content. That's going to give you the fluffiness on the outside, which eventually will crisp up in the oven. If you're in America, I'd probably use like the russet or the Idaho. Now, obviously the first thing we're going to do is peel the potato, which I don't really think I need to show you how to do that. All I would say is use a speed peeler. They are flipping brilliant, these things. They can work through a potato really, really quickly. But to be honest with you, just use what you're used to. And once you've peeled your spuds like that, I'm going to give them a quick wash under the tap. Get off any mud, loose dirt, all that kind of stuff. Now the second most important thing, after the type of potato, is the cut. If you cut them too big, they're not going to cook in the middle on time. They're going to be crispy on the outside. If they're too small, when you cook them, they're going to take on too much water, and they'll be, you'll roast them in the pan. It'll just be a soggy, mushy mess. So something like that. Come on, focus your bitch. Something like that is perfect. That's a nice size for a roast potato. So like them two, they're fine. But this one here is a bit too big. I'm going to cut that in half. This one's a bit too big again, so I'm going to cut that into 3. You get the idea. So once your spuds are all nicely cut up, I'm going to get them into a large pot. So, and then fill that with cold water. Then I'm just going to get that onto the hob and whack it on high. I'm going to bring this to the boil and also add plenty of salt to your potatoes. Much like you would season pasta water. It's just regular old table salt. You don't need any fancy salt for this. Use that at the end when you're plating up. But you want plenty of salt in there because you want it to go into the spud because it can help season it before we roast them. And I'm going to whack a lid on that, and then you want to bring that sucker to the boil. Now, once they've come to the boil, I'm going to turn them down to a simmer. And I would let those simmer for around about 10 minutes or so. It's not an exact science because you're just going to have to watch them. And what you're looking for is for the outside to be cooked. Okay, like should be all craggy and like bits kind of falling off, but the inside should still be quite raw. You can risk getting taken a bit further, but you're kind of like on dangerous territory doing that because you run the risk of them completely falling apart and then they're buggered. So I'm going to leave those for around about 10 minutes to simmer away. So come back in a second, I'll show you what you're looking for. Right, so it's been about sort of 8 minutes. I'm going to show you what you kind of want to look for. Okay, so if I just take one of these spuds out, and you see how the outside is kind of cooked and kind of starting to flake away a bit, that's what you're looking for. You can take them a bit further, but this is a lot less risk of them turning to mush. Then what I'm going to do is very carefully just place them on a bit of a wire rack. And this is a really crucial step. Usually what people do is they'll just drain them off, pop them back in the pan, rough them up, straight in the oven. Don't do that. Leave them to steam dry for a few minutes. This will just get off some of that excess moisture. See all that steam? That's moisture, which is your enemy for a crispy roast potato. So just leave them there for a couple of minutes and let them do their thing. And you can see, look at this one here. See this one here, look, all those craggy bits there. All right, that's going to give you a super crisp roast potato. At this point as well, I'm going to whack my oven on to 200 degrees C, fan assisted. And one of the things that people overlook is the pan that you use, right? OG viewers of the channel will know about this crusty old thing. All right, I've had this for years. And you might think, oh, that's filthy, it's dirty. It's not dirty, it's just very, very well used, very well seasoned. I've had this thing for about 10, maybe 15 years. It's been through a lot, but I tell you what, it makes the best roast potatoes. But obviously just use whatever pan you've got. And then to that pan, I'm going to add my fat of choice. Now I'm using ghee, which is not really a traditional thing to use for roast potatoes, but it's bloody delicious. You can use whatever fat you like, really. You could use beef fat, goose fat, duck fat, you could use veg or sunflower oil. The only thing I would stay away from is just pure butter, because that's just going to burn. Obviously ghee is clarified, so it won't. And things like olive oil, okay, it's going to burn and taste a little bit bitter. So I'm going to use some ghee, and then I'm going to whack that in the oven to get nice and hot. Now our spuds have pretty much steam dried, so I'm just going to take them and pop them back in our pot that we cooked them in. Pop the lid back on and just give them a little bit of a shake. Don't go too mad with it. You know, this is a mistake some people make, is they go too rough with it, and then you end up with like loads of bits of potato all over the place. Just nice and gently. So they should look something like this, okay? You see how got those kind of fluffy, craggy bits on the outside? Okay, but you still got whole potato in there, not a load of bits. Okay, now, once the fat is nice and hot, we're going to get it out of the oven. There we go. Then get your spud straight in. And you should hear a bit of a sizzle. And get yourself a spoon and start turning them in that oil. Now you'll notice I've not added any seasonings yet. We're going to add like salt and pepper at the end, because if you do it now, obviously you run the risk of burning. Well, the pepper especially. Make sure you've got enough space in between each potato, so if they're too like clumped together, they won't roast evenly. And then whack them back in the oven. In they go. Now you want to leave those for about 30 to 40 minutes. It does kind of depend on your oven really, but use that as a kind of like a ballpark. Excuse me. And this kitchen floor is cold. Okay, so we're about 10 minutes into the cooking. I'm going to just a bit smoky in here. Just going to take them out and give them a turn. You can see already that they're starting to turn a nice golden colour. And then back in the oven again. Right, so we are about 10 minutes away from them being finished, I reckon. I think this oven needs a clean. And here's where we're going to start adding our seasonings. Okay, just before they're finished cooking. So I'm going to go in with a bit of salt. Some freshly cracked black pepper. And here I've got just a clove of garlic sliced in half, no need to peel it, and some freshly picked thyme leaves. In they go. And then give it a good old shufty. And they are now ready for their last 10 minutes or so. Oh God. Get you extractors on. Right, let's get these suckers out. I think they're done. Oh yeah, they're definitely done. Listen to how crispy that is. Now this is definitely one of the foods that you'll want to cool down for a bit, because straight out of the oven they're going to be hotter than Satan's arse crack. Going to burn your mouth. But I think these are going to be alright. Super crispy, and look, if it will let me focus. See how fluffy they are inside? It's a proper banging roast spud that, and it's as easy as that really. As long as you follow a few simple steps, key steps, get the right potato, use the right fat, don't put your aromatics in too early because they'll burn, and you're going to be golden. I'm going to shoot off, let you get on with your day. If you haven't done so already, please like the video, please share it to your friends and family, and of course subscribe. And make sure you hit the notification bell as well, because then you'll get notified when I upload. And I'll see your gorgeous faces next time. Ta-ra for now.